Since September, students across the world have been creating designs made from 100% recycled materials, all in a bid to nab a spot in the 2023 Junk Kouture World Final, taking place in London this October.
This evening, we celebrate the Abu Dhabi City Finalists, all ahead of announcing the 10 design teams that will be getting on that plane and competing against 50 other design teams from around the world, all in a bid to be crowned Junk Kouture World Designer of the Year for 2023. Hello and welcome back to the Junk Kouture City Finals. We have had an incredible week so far, and tonight is our final episode, which makes me a little sad, but I have a feeling we're going to go out with a bang as we head on over to showcase the designs in our Abu Dhabi City Final from students across the United Arab Emirates.
That is right, we are heading across the globe this evening to celebrate our exceptionally innovative and creative students from the UAE.
All of these talented young creatives are taking to the Junk Kouture platform here this evening to show off their sustainable designs, and we want to know who you are supporting. So show us your favorite design from tonight. Post a picture on your Instagram story, tag at Junk Kouture, and use the hashtag Junk Kouture Abu Dhabi for a chance to feature on our socials.
We know we have an audience waiting to see their designs celebrated on screen this evening, all ahead of the World Finalist announcement. So here it is. Set your alarms, turn on your reminders, tell all of your family and your friends that we will be going live on the Junk Kouture TikTok at Junk Kouture on Monday the 15th of May. That's right. 3 days away. It's only 3 days, 3 days away, all to announce the 10 designs from each region hitting the catwalk at the second Junk Kouture World Final in London later this year.
The 10 designs chosen by our UAE-based judge will go head-to-head against students from across Ireland, Italy, France, New York and the United Kingdom, all in a bid to take the title of Junk Kouture World Designer of the Year.
And tonight, it is all about our Abu Dhabi City Finalists. Now, Sean, the first ever Junk Kouture World Final was held in the Etihad Arena on Yas Island back in January, and you and I were lucky enough to meet and interview all of the incredible finalists that took part, and to think this year we'll be chatting to some of you.
I know, how exciting, and I can't wait to meet all the 60 world finalists and those 10 going forward from your territory. Let's take a look back at the 2022 World Final and your peers as they graced that stage of the Etihad Arena.
Well, versed in saying goodbye to the wrong ones, I get better at moving on every time. Always love me so much more after I'm long gone, but history is the furthest thing from my mind. Doing my thing, working on me, only got eyes for diamonds. Yeah, I'm vibing. Lost what you had, you want it back, but I'm just fine, yeah. Sorry, I'm not crying. I'd rather be with nobody than with somebody who let me be someone I lose. I'd rather be with nobody than with somebody like you. Expectations in the sky for the right one. Put my heart on a pedestal if you want it. Need somebody who needs me to put their hands on me. You were never on that wave if I'm honest. Doing my thing, working on me, only got eyes for diamonds. Yeah, I'm vibing. Lost what you had, you want it back, but I'm just fine, yeah. Sorry, I'm not crying. I'd rather be with nobody than with somebody who let me be someone to lose. I'd rather be with nobody than with somebody like you. Nobody, someone to lose. Nobody, someone like you. I loved you then I loved you not. You don't deserve the time you got. I loved you but you messed it up, so I let go because I'd rather be with nobody than with somebody who let me be someone to lose. I'd rather be with nobody than with somebody like you.
What what a time. I love looking back at the designs. Now, of course, there's one design that was missing from that lineup. But before we get to this year's Abu Dhabi City Finalists, let's take a look back at our Abu Dhabi City designer for 2022, who was just like you all this time last year, waiting for their design to appear in the city final, all in the hope they would be chosen as one of the 10 designers heading to the world final.
The Desert Bloom was created by Vatsala Jain, Aum Sachintir and Divyam Varma of JSS Private School Dubai. They made their winning design from 50 newspapers, bottle caps, fabric scraps, plastic grocery bags, netting and scrap jewellery. And if you've seen the design on our city final poster, you'll have already seen what this masterpiece ended up looking like. Here it is, Desert Bloom.
Congratulations to Desert Bloom.
Angel, you have been crowned Abu Dhabi Designer of the Year. I can see the tears in your eyes, so I don't want to ask you too many emotional questions, but I have to ask, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling so good. It feels like a dream. I feel very proud of myself, my family, my team. I mean, everyone who supported me for this. This is not only for me, it's everyone.
Hold it out to the camera, let them see. Abu Dhabi Designer of the Year! Woohoo! What a moment. Goosebumps every single time. I love it. And don't forget, that could be you. You watching at home, that could be your moment. So to find out if your design will be one of the 10 designs from the UAE going through to the Junk Kouture World Final taking place in London 2023, tune in to our TikTok Live on Monday the 15th of May, where Sean and I will be bringing you the all-important announcement.
And speaking of our Abu Dhabi judge, this beauty guru has the impossible task of choosing the 10 designs throughout the judging process alongside our technical judge, Jane Levy, the program director for fashion design at Griffith College. The designs have been studied, pulled apart, put back together, analysed, reviewed, appreciated and 100% adored. So let's meet the face behind the decision. Please say a big hello to the co-founder of Citizen Cosmetics. It's the wonderful Alina Khan. Alina, welcome back. How are you feeling to be back as a Junk Kouture UAE judge?
So I am feeling honestly really honored and touched. I just think that when there's alignment with people or with what we're all working on, I think that's so powerful, and that's clearly what brought us back together. I think me with my brand and Citizen is all about inclusivity, and you guys with Junk Kouture, it's all about empowerment. I think there's so much there that we're just trying to make people feel seen and represented in something larger. It just makes it feel so natural to me to come back. So I'm so happy to be back.
And I am so excited to know, what are you looking for in the designs this year?
I'm really looking for a story. I just think a personal connection, a story, a reason behind why you exist, why you did this piece is what makes something so much more deeper and so much more captivating beyond the way that materials are used and beyond the functionality of a piece. I just think if there's also a story that someone can relate to or resonate with, that's just even more powerful.
Thank you, Alina. I have a feeling you will see all of that and more on this screen tonight. If last year's Abu Dhabi finalists are anything to go by, the standard is going to be so high. Now, at this point, we've celebrated the city finalists from the Dublin, Paris, Milan, London, and New York city finals. And we know you're all tuning in tonight to get a look at the competition from the UAE. I'm just too excited for this, Orla. I think we need to get going. Let's get into it.
Absolutely, Sean. Before we announce the 10 finalists next Monday who will be jetting off to the Junk Kouture World Final in London, we are super buzzing to bring you a showcase of the one-of-a-kind designs Abu Dhabi presented this year. Now, at this point, all of the other city finalists have been showcased from all of our other regions, so we know you are all tuning in to get a good look at the competition from the UAE tonight.
You know what? I'm just too excited for this. Can we just get started?
I think we should just get into it. Take a look.
talent from our first group of UAE finalists. That was off the charts. And I'm really intrigued by, you know, the different angles some designers are taking, like Aqua Aurora. It's all about nature and marine ecosystems. And the shade of blue the designers incorporated, they used chart paper. It's to highlight the alarming decline of shark populations. A very unique, but obviously very important topic.
Very impressive stuff. I like it, and I love how carefully thought out these design concepts are. My eyes were really drawn to a pop of reality. I think the lace gloves they're a bit of me. They are a bit of me, but they're also made from Etihad Airways seat covers, which is incredible. I'd love to hear what Alina has to say about all of this. So let's check in. Alina, what are your thoughts on those fantastic designs we just saw? Any showstoppers?
I just can't get over War of Women. I think it embodies everything I'm looking for in a piece, which is female empowerment, first and foremost. I'm obsessed even just with the photo that was submitted with the pose. I just think it really set the tone, and immediately I felt something by seeing the piece. So I really appreciate that this creator took the time to actually come up with an image that truly embodies what she stands for. So another design that really caught my eye is Majlis. And I mean, for me as someone who grew up in the Middle East, in Dubai, like this probably rang even truer to my heart. But I just thought it was really beautiful that this student actually, it was an ode to Middle Eastern culture. And it was an ode maybe even to a culture she didn't belong to, but I thought that even was more beautiful because she felt very attached to culture and community that she grew up alongside. And I really love that she had date seeds, she had Majlis pillow covers, coffee filters, coffee capsules. You can tell that this person has really felt connected to and has appreciated the culture she's grown up around. So I was so impressed by Candylicious. The color, the use of so many different materials, the model's image that she presented, really everything just came to life so much, so vibrant. Love that she even created a hat to go with this as well. Even though the train could speak for itself on this piece, she could have just submitted the train and it would have been wow enough. But I think this rings true to me as well because I have a sweet tooth, and it really just made me think of how much waste there is with all the food that we consume. But they're all just nostalgic food items as well, from cereal to popsicles to ice cream. So I think there's a lot of emotion here, but also she brought back the awareness and understanding and moment of reflection for someone of, okay, let's think a little bit deeper about this consumption and what it actually is doing to the environment.
Thank you, Alina, and good luck, because we have only shown one group of the Abu Dhabi City finalists so far, and I already want all of those designs for my own wardrobe. Sean, I don't know how anybody's going to make a decision. I love them. I love them. I'm sure it will be a very, very tough decision choosing the final 10.
Absolutely, 100%. We have so many more designs ready and waiting to go, so let's get straight into it. Here's the second group.
I am in total awe of the talent, creativity and imagination shining through each of these designs. What a show! I feel so lucky to be watching this. But I have to say, I am slightly obsessed with Rococo Rebelle. It's so playful and such a take on a pivotal era of fashion.
Well, and I thought Enagrity, hoping I'm pronouncing that right, was so striking too. They displayed the 5 elements of nature. Really original idea. Flames and waves on a design. I'm impressed, but the truth is, we're not the ones making the decisions, so our opinion doesn't really matter. Let's check in with Alina. Alina, were there any specific designs there that stood out to you in that group?
Okay, so Sean, Orlo, we have to talk about Angel Bertha. This really just made me think because it was inspired by all the waste material after birthday parties, but it sort of made me think, I grew up in Dubai, of parties in general and how much waste and consumption goes into this. Obviously, we all love to have a good time, so I'm not shaming a party. I love a good party, but it really did make me think, living in Dubai, there is a level of events that almost feel abnormal with how many parties there are and how many events there are every week. And it does just make me think, I wish there was a way that we could be more sustainable about this. There is so much wastage. So this piece just really made me reflect, which I think that's what makes a strong piece, is something that makes you pause and think. A vision of purpose. Wow. I mean, Sean and Orla, I'm sure you felt the same way, but the use of yellow and the instant uplifting feeling I got when I saw this piece and when I saw the image. And also, first of all, I love the designer's pose. It was so poised and it just really made me feel that there was so much power in this. But yellow is such a happy color. I mean, this whole thing, if I could like add another secondary name, it would be just dopamine, because I feel like it almost injected dopamine in me as soon as I saw it. I think sunflowers are just so happy. Yellow is so happy. And I feel like it makes all the sense that this was inspired by a positive mindset. And this was all about encouraging the notion that sustainability is nurtured through maintaining a positive mindset. I think often we can be hard on ourselves if we're not getting it perfectly done, perfectly right with sustainability. It feels intimidating, but I love that this designer embedded positive mindsets in sustainability, because it just shows that we can start small. It's one gesture at a time. We can think about it positively. And yeah, it was just so clever to use yellow plastic bags, plastic bottle caps, colored yarns. I think I love the way that yellow came to life with yarns, with plastic, and with just different materials. This designer really didn't set a limit and really just went above the glass ceiling. So I loved it. And it really did change my mood seeing it. It was an instant wow.
Thank you, Alina. I know the students will be buzzing to hear your feedback, but I'm glad we just don't have to make any decision here, because I would not know where to start.
Me either, but the worst part is there is another group. Worst and best part. I don't know how they're going to make this decision, but I'm feeling a little bit selfish. I want to see more designs. I'm obsessed with these. If you haven't seen your design on screen yet, grab the popcorn, because here we go.
Emotions push and pull, shooting stars in your eyes. You're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime. When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland. No, I just can't get enough. You feel like magic. Magic. Just one touch, my God, I gotta have it. You feel like magic. Magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic. Magic. Dance in the living room. Can't stop looking at you. The way you're moving, I'm watching all of my dreams come true. Take all my stress away. Clear up my cloudy days. Just me and you and all this music, baby, never change. When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland. No, I just can't get enough. You feel like magic. Magic. Just one touch, my God, I gotta have it. You feel like magic. Magic.
come on.
Wow, amazing.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better. I cannot get over this talent tonight, and I love seeing the tie between the two cultures with the design Zamarad, which actually means emerald in Arabic. The designers were inspired by childhood stories of the Emerald Isle and St. Patrick's Day, which is so sweet.
I love that.
Awesome.
That's so special. I love how people are taking their own like past and childhoods into their design. It's incredible. But I was so impressed by the detail of a vision of purpose.
Yes.
To be honest, I think I just fell in love with how happy the colours made me. It was so bright, and the yellow flowers, it just really put a smile on my face. But let's have a final catch up with our judge to see how the judging process is going. Alina, what designs are sticking out from the crowd?
Okay, so Orla and Sean, I have to talk about Love and Death, and I'm sure you guys have a lot to say about it too, but I really appreciated this designer for going in a different direction. It was more dark, definitely, there's no doubt about it, with the makeup and the way it was presented and the theme, but it was dark for a reason, and it was dark with cause, and that is something I appreciate. Anything that has storytelling behind it. So I just felt very taken by the message. It was all about love and death. We love our planet, so there's love on one end, but it's dying at the same time. And the skeleton was there to show that if we don't do something about it, it's gonna go in that direction. And it is dark, like I said, and it is pretty like, it's kind of like a whoa moment. But sometimes you need that dramatic storytelling to evoke a reaction that's long lasting. I really applaud the dramatic storytelling. It was impactful. So Sean and Orla, I loved the Artificer for so many reasons. One was the inspiration was actually just so interesting. It was inspired by the theme of steampunk from the Victorian era, which, you know, isn't something that you think about all the time. But yeah, steam-powered machinery, and it really made the designer think about being an inventor, an alchemist, and she felt reflected, you know, in that Victorian era. So that was really interesting. But I think my favorite thing about this is how many different materials were used. I think this is one of the designs that just had the most diverse set of materials. Everything from paper mache to swimming goggles, to bed sheets dyed with acrylic, to placemat, lace sewed curtains sprayed gold, tied and draped until broken umbrellas for volume. There was everything going on here. Etihad leather belts, soda cans, sanitizer bottles, metallic clogs. So I just think that the creativity was endless. The theme was very interesting and unique. I love the platform of the shoes. And I think that's something that is very hard to design. It's very hard to create shoes. So the fact that not only was the actual piece stellar, and not only was everything on top of her armor stellar, but the fact that she made time to have shoes that were executed so strongly, I was very impressed by.
Thank you, Alina. And as we have come to the end of our showcase tonight, I have to ask you, in comparison to last year, what has stood out to you most in this year's UAE competition?
This year, I definitely noticed that people were more free to be themselves, even if that meant going a little darker or having a piece that was a little deeper and maybe not the standard couture inspired gown. I thought people were really just showing us their minds, their souls, what they were really feeling. Whether it's what you feel about the world, whether it's what you feel about your own life experience. I just felt that people went a little bit further this time in the emotions and not being afraid to not just have like a pretty piece, but more an impactful piece that had a strong message. So I was here for it.
And of course, you attended our first ever Junk Kouture World Final in Abu Dhabi and witnessed the designs hitting the catwalk firsthand. What advice would you give to the students who make it to the World Final in London this year?
I would say just remember that making it on the stage, like, you're already a winner. I just think it's huge to just be there, to have your design seen and recognized by judges around the world and just people around the world, and even just the whole Junk Kouture team. Like, if you made it to the finals, honestly, if you even made it to the city finals, anything that you made it to shows that you finished something. For me, I'm a really big believer in, if you accomplish and finish a task, you already won, because I think it's really hard sometimes finishing a project because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of emotion. So I would just say that just remind yourself that it's not really about the actual prize. It's just the fact that you did it, you finished the piece, you got it, you made it here to this point. And that really is huge. Like, I'm not just saying that, like, I think it's just huge in itself that you finished this piece and it's amazing and you put your heart into it. So just remember that you're already won. If you're watching this, you already won.
Thank you, Alina. Even I'm feeling super motivated and inspired from that advice as well. Love the positivity. All that's left for you to do now is decide on the top 10 designs heading to the Junk Kouture World Final in London 2023, and I'm very glad I don't have that job. To find out if your design will be hitting the catwalk in London City, tune in to our TikTok live at Junk Kouture on Monday the 15th of May, where myself and Orla will be bringing you that all-important information.
Sean, I'm actually so excited to have our entire global community in one place on our TikTok live. We can chat with you all, we can check in, see how you're getting on, and really just get that conversation going ahead of the Junk Kouture World Final.
Speaking of communities, our alumni community plays a vital role in Junk Kouture, which is why we were delighted to launch the Junk Kouture Future Leaders program back in April. A community of Junk Kouture alumni striving to create change in the world and become Junk Kouture ambassadors. Does this sound like something that you would be into? If so, take a look at this. Your competition cycle might be over, but your journey with Junk Kouture doesn't have to end. Introducing Junk Kouture Future Leaders, the ultimate network for young creatives, future fashion designers, sustainability enthusiasts, and innovative leaders ready to make their mark as the future leaders of our world. As an alumni, you can get access to industry events and workshops, the chance to feature in campaigns and photo shoots, and even the possibility of securing work experience or mentorships with our global partners, all whilst we continue to spotlight your talents to our creative community.
One of my favourite things that I did was I was part of their global launch in London and Paris. It was totally empowering walking down the street in these unreal cities.
Junk Kouture has done so much for me. It has boosted my confidence immensely.
So Junk Kouture really shaped my career choices, as I've always known I wanted to do fashion, but this just pushed me to make that decision.
You have those connections with people that keep on building and building. And that creates like a great community for basically everyone.
But there's more. For alumni who are ready to take their involvement with Junk Kouture to the next level, you can become a Junk Kouture ambassador, representing the voices of youth and driving change in the world by speaking on global stages and platforms. So what are you waiting for? The world needs your voice and vision because you are a future leader.
If this sounds like something that you would jump on, and you absolutely should, stop what you're doing right now and head on over to www.junkkouture.com to apply. One alumni who is not only the Junk Kouture 2019 Designer of the Year from Ireland, but has also gone on to study at Central St. Martin's in London is the one, the only Maxime O'Sullivan. Maxime has been working alongside our outstanding technical judge, Jane Levy, Programme Director of Fashion Design at Griffith College, as a Junk Kouture student judge for this year's City Finals, and he's here tonight to share his feedback as a past contestant. So please welcome Junk Kouture Ambassador Maxime.
Maxime, hello. You are in a very unique position, and if I were the students at home, I'd be soaking up every bit of information from you that I can. You know what it's like firsthand to win the overall title of Junk Kouture Designer of the Year. So what advice would you give to the students who make it to the World Final this year?
Yeah, of course. I'd say, first of all, congratulations. You've made it so far, and you should be so proud of yourselves. I would pack your garment well, because it's going to have to go a long way. For the World Finals, so pack the garment well and be careful with it. But once you're out on that stage, once you're you're behind the stage and you're just getting ready to get on, just be proud of yourself. You've gone this far and you've done so much, and now it's your chance to really show yourself to the world and do your best. But everyone's behind you.
And Maxime, as you saw tonight, the UAE competition is fierce.
Oh yeah.
What designs caught your eye tonight?
I had a good few wow moments in London. It was a great region too. I think some that really stuck out to me were Media's Geometry, End of an Era, and Fly to the Pangolin. I think Fly to the Pangolin really stood out to me because it was such a striking story and something that we haven't heard much of before, but it was a great story that was brought together by this really simple material of cardboard, but they constructed it so well and put a lot of thought into it, and I thought that was really well done. And End of an Era for me, again, took such a simple everyday material of the milk tops, but they brought them together in such an interesting way, and it's such a striking silhouette, really haute couture. And Media's Geometry also stood out to me in a major way. I think the amount of work and thought they put into it, inspired by origami and some issey miyake, was really well done. And again, using such simple materials, that was something that really stood out to me in London. Simple materials, but so much thought put into them. I really loved to see that. I loved seeing their origami manipulation, and again, the silhouette, such a striking shape that was so well made, and it looked nothing like the magazines we get. They totally elevated the material, and that is stellar.
Thank you so much, Maxime. Now, as we come to the end of our week of City Finals, it's a sad moment. I think it's time to remind everyone exactly what they are working towards. So take a look at this.
I'm so excited, Sean. I can't contain it anymore. I am so excited. And to think that could be one of you and your design on that plane. It's incredible. So to find out if you will be one of the 10 designs from the UAE hitting the catwalk at the second Junk Kouture World Final 2023, tune in to our TikTok live at Junk Kouture on Monday the 15th, where we will be announcing it live to the entire community.
And don't forget, we want to know who you are supporting. So get tagging and posting your pictures on Instagram at Junk Kouture and using hashtag Junk Kouture Abu Dhabi.
Sean, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but this brings us to the end of the Junk Kouture City Finals for 2023. I'm so sad. Another huge well done to each and every one of you who competed tonight, alongside the incredible educators that make it all possible. Give yourselves a massive pat on the back, because what you have achieved here tonight is extraordinary.
It seriously is, we mean that. And we want to say also a huge thank you to our wonderful UAE judge Alina Khan, technical judge Jane Levy, and student judge Maxime O'Sullivan.
That's all from us here tonight, so thank you for tuning in, and don't forget, Monday the 15th, that is 3 days away, only 3 days, we will be announcing the Junk Kouture World Finalists 2023. So make sure you tune in to find out if your design will be on that plane to London City.
We will see you then.
Good night.
night.